So next we discuss what elements should be on a well-designed influencer homepage. So first off, the navigation. When it comes to navigation, it's pretty simple. It should be in a location where easy to find and is easy to locate, right? And the words themselves that we use for the navigation, it should be words that the target audience would use. This could get a bit, this could be like a common sense thing, but I still see some websites that, that commit this mistake. So, for example, if the terminology that the target audience would use is, and this is just an example, right? Instead of calling them properties, they might use accommodations, right? The term accommodations, or maybe instead of accommodations, they use the term real estate, or maybe they use vacation homes, or whatever, right? So that has to be established, and that should be what needs to appear as the words on the navigation. The underlying purpose there is to not make the users think. The less they burn extra brain calories to figure out the how to use and navigate through the site, the better it is for them, and the higher converting it will be. Another thing is that it's very important to play according to the user's expectations. So sometimes, for example, if a user expects a certain kind of information to be in a certain location, for example, the footer, normally on the footer section, for example, you find it's very common, right? If you have been the sort of person, if you're the sort of person who is used to using the internet, or you have been through to many websites, you have a certain expectation on what sort of information you can find at the footer, right? So the design must reflect that. Lead generating mechanism. So this basically just means whatever the influencer's strategy is in order to get the leads should appear there on the homepage. And normally what that involves is an opt-in section, okay, where they're giving away a lead magnet. Of course, there has to be a compelling headline. Sometimes just a headline, but sometimes there is also a sub-headline. Sometimes it's necessary to have benefit-driven bullet points, but depending on the amount of space that we could play with, sometimes we don't need the bullet points there. It could just be a compelling headline and one line of call to action, or one line of text explaining why the user should download the freebie, and then the call to action. Of course, there has to be the input fields, the eye-catching call to action button, very important. The call to action button must stand out, especially if the lead generation is the primary purpose of the page. Not to forget, it has to be GDPR compliant. Normally that just means that there is a tick box there under or somewhere near the fields that says that, hey, we will be emailing you when you subscribe, or you will be receiving some emails from us. And of course, when you set up the opt-in page, always remember that the thank you page is part of the opt-in. So that needs to be very effective as well. And we can discuss later what makes an effective thank you page. And then there's the value-driven content. Now, depending on the funnel of the funnel design or the funnel strategy of the influencer, because the value-driven content could be in the form of blog articles. It could be via the podcast. It could be through various free downloads or resources. It could be through videos, or it could even be through a quiz. It really depends on what sort of content they are creating. It could even be YouTube channel, right? Like maybe the influencer is a primary, maybe the influencer's primary mode of getting people into their funnel is through their YouTube channel. So that must be reflected on the homepage too. So the main point here is that whatever they're using to attract the end users into their world, it needs to be highlighted in the homepage, because that's exactly how they could get them into the funnel, or to get them as their leads, right? Another important thing is the social proof. It's very important to have this on the homepage, and actually not just on the homepage, but almost on every page. Social proof is it's going to contribute to the conversion. So this could be in the forms of, just a line or two of testimonials. The testimonials could be in the form of text, or it could be in the form of videos. The social proof could also come in the form of case studies, where it's literally like maybe some before and after, or story-based case studies, or video case studies, right? And sometimes it could just be as simple as media logos, like stages that they have appeared in, publications that they have appeared in, podcasts that they've been interviewed. It could even be photography, actually. So, some influencers have pictures with Oprah or Tony Robbins or the Dalai Lama, whatever gives them more social proof that they are authorities in their fields, or maybe a picture of them speaking at such to a big audience, right? That also creates social proof. So those are very important. But also, actually, remember as well, when you put images that are meant to have social proof, do not assume that the reader knows who those people are. So even if it's the influencer pictured with, let's say, Madonna, right? Don't just put the picture there. Have a caption that says, here is Miss Influencer blah 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 at the event blah 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 that happened on blah 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 with Madonna. Or the caption could be, here is Mr. Influencer, and when he met Madonna, Madonna told him, hey, you're the best coach I've ever worked with. That kind of thing. The whole point is that the caption must explain what's on the image, and if the image is meant to boost the social proof, then the caption must reflect that goal. Okay? And then, of course, there's the call to action. When it comes to the call to action, really, it could be anything. The call to action could be anything. Again, this is funnel dependent. Depending on what the primary and secondary goals are, the call to actions will then reflect that. So the call to action could be, hey, sign up here for a free 30-day trial, or hey, we have these freebies, download them, but to download them you need to give us your email address and name, or you might want to create a demo video and then get the reader to watch that demo video and then book a demo themselves, right? It could be that the call to action is to watch a particular video. It could be like the video reel of the influencer, or the call to action might be to listen to a specific podcast episode or the most popular podcast episodes. Um, it could be that you want them to fill out a form, or you want them to read a specific blog post. And to be able to do that, they need to click on a certain link to learn more. So yeah, it could really be anything, but the main point here is to establish what the primary CTAs are, and then the design must then reflect that. And then there is the main offer as well. I grouped them here under here, because it could be that the work with me section is a section in the homepage. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you feature all of this on the homepage. Again, it will really depend on what we first want the readers to see. Just because, let's say, the influencer is offering 20 different products, it doesn't mean that all those 20 products must be featured on the homepage. Even if the influencer, for example, is indeed a speaker, it doesn't necessarily mean that we must have a speaking section on the homepage. Again, this all relates to the marketing strategy. This all relates to the marketing funnel. If the primary purpose of the page is to get people to subscribe first, and then through their email subscription, they would learn, that's how they would learn that the influencer is actually a speaker, right? Then we might be better off prioritizing getting people into the email list first, rather than distracting them with, hey, book me for a speaking gig, right? So again, just because the influencer is doing something, it doesn't mean that it has to be on the homepage. So we might want to limit the homepage to just get them to the most important things, right? Just get the readers to do the most important things, because if we get them to do those most important things, all the other things that we could tell them about, we can tell them later, right? And we can tell them those things later if we have them on our email list, for example, or if they are subscribed to the podcast. So yeah. So again, I put them all under here because it doesn't mean that automatically, just because the influencer is doing it, automatically it should all be on the homepage. So execute this part with a strategy that is aligned with their funnel. And that's it for the homepage. Thank you.